While patrolling in the southern part of Samara Game Reserve, field guide Rowan Bernardi stumbles across a tragic scene. A cheetah, fatally wounded by its intended prey. The Dacre's razor-sharp hooves tore into the cheetah's belly. It brings to an end the story of a remarkable animal. A young cheetah moves cautiously through the grasslands of the Northwest Province in South Africa. She has recently left her mother's home range and moves east. Not long ago, she was a young, carefree cub playing with her siblings. Although it seemed like random play, this romping was necessary for her survival in later life. Strengthening muscles, coordination and speed are all skills that are learnt during play. Cheetahs are not natural tree climbers, but she also seemed determined to hone these skills. Their mother often left the cubs alone while out hunting. Female cheetah with cubs need to hunt almost every day. She would be gone for many hours, leaving them alone and vulnerable. The young cub is already fast, at 5 months able to outrun other adult carnivores. After the cubs left their mother, they stayed together for protection and to perfect their hunting skills. A year later, the female cub left her siblings. Males from the same litter often stay together in a coalition to hunt. But females are solitary, and so she moved off by herself. Instinct drives her east, away from man and the destruction that humans leave in their wake. She has recently fed, and now the hunger that drives her forward has nothing to do with feeding. She will try and find a male, but only long enough to mate. Hunting dogs. They smell her scent. Starved and goaded by sadistic hunters, the dogs hunger for blood. Captured and confused. Her hind legs injured. The sounds are unfamiliar. She has become a commodity, an item for human entertainment. Nothing has prepared her for this. The Anne van Dyck Cheetah Center gets an urgent call.
Anne van Dyck Cheetah Center, good
A woman
afternoon.
calls reporting a wild cheetah that has been badly mauled and is being kept in captivity.
Your name and your surname, please.
Staff at the center immediately spring into action and gather the necessary equipment they will need. Specialist veterinary surgeon Dr. Peter Caldwell is called, as they are not sure what condition she'll be in. The center was getting a lot of calls reporting injured and captured cheetah. Farmers consider cheetah vermin and openly hunt and kill many that roam wild in these farm areas. The cheetah population is rapidly declining, and there is a real danger that they could disappear forever. The Anne van Dyck Cheetah Center has received international recognition for the work being done to help save the cheetah from extinction. Situated in the northwest province of South Africa, the center was founded in 1971 by Anne van Dyck. They initiated a captive breeding scheme and to date have successfully bred more than 800 cubs. The center's founder, Anne van Dyck, has a great compassion for cheetah and believes that mankind and this magnificent cat are naturally and emotionally connected.
It's an animal that has been with man for so many centuries. I mean, it's millions of years that the cheetah has been with us, and I think it will be a great, great pity if it doesn't survive for another million years.
The center houses over 100 cheetahs in separate enclosures. These cats are used for breeding, research, education and tourism, which helps pay for the mammoth logistics of looking after these endangered animals. To combat illegal hunting and captivity of these magnificent cats, the Anne van Dyck Cheetah Center offered a cash reward for information leading to the rescue of a caged or injured animal. It worked, and the calls came streaming in. It was one such call from a woman who wanted the reward for a new kitchen that prompted the center to dispatch the rescue team. They discover a weak and badly mauled animal, thrown in a cage and left for dead. They sedate and load her into the vehicle. The team return with the damaged animal. It's not only her body that is broken, but her spirit too. Her chances of survival are slim. Once in the operating theatre, Dr. Peter Caldwell wastes no time in getting to work. Peter is attempting to repair her damaged tendons, a procedure never before undertaken on a wild animal. He spends 5 hours trying to save her life. Now the only thing left to do is wait to see if she'll make it through the night. It's touch and go. She survives the night, and after days of round-the-clock attention, she slowly regains her strength. her wounds begin to heal. She is moved to a larger area, but the long-term prognosis is not good. This wild-born cat will probably be confined to an enclosure for the rest of her life. The operation was only the beginning. The real test is if she can get up and learn to walk again. She's a fighter. She keeps trying. She's up. And walking. Anne van Dyck and her team are ecstatic. They've never witnessed a cheetah recover from such poor condition and terrible wounds. They name her Sabella, meaning a female prophet. Over the next few weeks, Sabella goes from strength to strength, and even her trust in man improves. She seems to sense that they are here to help her and not a threat. The team impose a hands-off policy, keeping all human contact to a minimum. The idea is to rehabilitate her as close to a wild cheetah as possible. She's taught to work for her food, and slowly her legs gain strength. Sabella becomes restless, not content for a life behind bars. They move her into a larger area where she can move around, stretch her legs. Her recovery has been remarkable. Sabella is truly a fighter. They feel she should be given a chance to live in the wild again. Now they just need to find somewhere willing to have her. Then an inquiry from an unexpected place. A place that had not seen a cheetah in over 100 years. Forming the country's vast, timeless heartland, the semi-arid Karoo region of South Africa was known by early explorers for its singular beauty, harsh environment, and extraordinary wildlife. Early inhabitants, the Khoisan, called the Great Karoo the land of great thirst. In the middle of these ancient plains, surrounded by an amphitheater of purple mountains, lies Samara Game Reserve, land of serenity. Most of the last 100 years, this semi-desert land has been stripped of its wildlife, replaced by sheep, goats, and agriculture. This was until naturalist couple Mark and Sarah Tompkins discovered the true magic of the area. They vowed to return and achieve their dream, amassing enough land to have a self-sustaining ecosystem that would carry game. The herds of antelope that used to inhabit this area, and the predators, to keep the balance that helps maintain these fragile ecosystems. They bought 11 old livestock farms, tore down the fences and returned the land to its wild state. Now, 70,000 acres later, great herds once again roam the Great Karoo, and Samara Game Reserve was born. The next step was to bring back the Great Karoo's most iconic predator, the cheetah. It's decided. Zabella's new home will be Samara, and very quickly the wheels are put in motion. Transporting cheetah across provincial boundaries is restricted, so the necessary permissions and permits need to be obtained. And then a stroke of luck.
Yes,
The
thank you
Battleurs,
very much.
an
We
aptly
appreciate
named
it.
animal flying service, volunteer to transport Zabella to Samara. They have flown many wildlife mercy missions across Africa. The miracle cheetah leaves for a new home and a new life. Joining Zabella are 2 wild males, which have been brought in from South Africa's Limpopo province. The dream is that Zabella and one of the males will mate. Sarah and the Samara team wait anxiously. They know it's a gamble and understand Zabella's chances of making it in the wild are slim. For Sarah, it's the culmination of a dream that started over a decade ago.
It's actually one of the most exciting experiences of my life.
Zabella and the 2 males are to be released into 2 separate camps, where they'll stay for a minimum of 3 months in order to acclimatize. The males will be released into an enclosure next to Zabella. It's important they get used to each other's smell and presence. Male cheetahs have been known to kill unfamiliar cheetah whose smell they do not recognize. Zabella's big moment has arrived. A new home and a new beginning. She's hesitant. The unfamiliar voices and surroundings are intimidating. Sarah and the Samara team wait anxiously. They understand the risk. Sarah decides to move everybody back to give her some space. Finally, she's out and one step closer to being a wild cheetah once more. In the adjacent enclosure, the males wait their turn. Recently captured, freedom is not something they have forgotten. Immediately they catch the scent of a female close by. Just a fence separating them. It's important that the cheetahs not only become accustomed with the sounds and smells of their new home, but also they need to familiarize themselves with each other. Simply thrown together without this habituation period could end in disaster. After spending a little more than 3 months in the camps, the cheetah are ready to be set free. Zabella is released first. It's important that she lays claim and marks her territory before the males are allowed out. Tentatively, Zabella leaves the enclosure. Over a year after being hunted down by man and dogs, she is once again free. Sabella becomes the first wild cheetah to set foot in the Great Karoo for over 100 years. Sabella has been fitted with a radio collar so that the team can keep track of her. The collar is light and does not affect her natural behavior in any way. The trackers use a radio telemetry to locate her, but the range is limited and the signal can be affected by distance and landscape. The terrain at Samara is vast and hugely varied, meaning the trackers often have to resort to old-fashioned techniques. It's important they keep track of her, as they are not sure if she'll be able to fend for herself. There's also the risk of her escaping and making her way onto neighboring farms. Evidence shows that cheetah roamed the Great Karoo for hundreds of years. They shared this space with the last of the Stone Age people and the oldest tribe on Earth, the Khoisan, who roamed here in Samara's craggy hills until the 18th century. In a shelter found at Samara, the only known rock painting of a cheetah, dating back thousands of years, are evidence of how they shared this ancient land. Towards the end of the 18th century, settlers inhabited the land, erected barbed-wire fences, and turned it into farmlands, chasing both Khoisan and cheetah further north. Now, the cheetah has returned. At first, Sabella stays close to the camp, getting accustomed to her new home and inhabitants. They also need to get used to her. She heads across the plains, towards the river and valley, with dense green protective foliage. She picks up a familiar scent. Hartebeest. Instinct kicks in. She edges towards the smell, hunger driving her forward. Vervet monkeys and the hartebeest are gone. Sabella climbs up Samara's high mountains towards the plateau grasslands above. Once on top, she discovers a whole new world. There's an abundance of game and an animal she's never encountered before, eland. They are still far away. They are large, too big for a lone cheetah. They're also alert, and they're off before she can get within striking range. Sabella spends the following days trying to hunt, but her skills are rusty, and her meals, consisting mostly of scavenged morsels, are few and far between. She is hungry. She will need to catch something soon. Sabella sees another animal she's never come across before. Is it food or foe? The strange creature hustles forward, scratching at the ground. It's an aardvark. Samara is well known for its aardvark, and surprisingly, they are often seen foraging in the late afternoon. Very little is known about these secretive creatures. Normally, they only come out at night, scratching around for ants in the dry season and termites when it's wet. The aardvark senses Sabella is watching. Then scurries back into its underground tunnel system, which may stretch over 10 meters. Sabella has now been roaming for more than 10 days and has not managed to catch anything substantial. She finds an old rabbit carcass. It offers little sustenance. She needs to catch something before she's too weak to hunt. Cheetahs generally need to hunt every 2 to 3 days. Sabella is getting weaker. Warthog. She waits, letting the unsuspecting pigs wander closer. They sense her presence. After her first warthog kill, Sabella grew from strength to strength and becomes a proficient hunter. She is fast, agile and strong, and is adapted to the Karoo terrain superbly, often using the thickets rather than the plains to hunt. Her favorite prey item is kudu, but she easily caught other prey like ostrich and duiker. She could now be classified as a true wild cheetah. Sabella settles into life at Samara, and the guides and trackers get to know her well. Despite her traumatic experience at the hands of man, she seems to enjoy their company and tolerates their presence. Rowan Bernardi, a field guide at Samara, develops a love for Sabella, and while on patrol, would follow as she traversed her territory. Despite spending his entire life in the bush, he had never come across a cheetah before. He was captivated and found any excuse to spend time watching this magnificent cat.
I had never seen a cheetah before. I just fall in love with this cat, and I need to look out for her.
He got to know her favorite resting spots, her movement patterns, and where she liked to hunt. Though Rowan followed as closely as he could, keeping up with the fastest land mammal is near impossible. He knew when to hang back, so as not to scare the prey when she was hunting. She wasn't too worried by his constant presence as he observed her everyday movements. Rowan had never been this close to a predator like the cheetah. He was fascinated by her behavior. Even intimate moments like where, and more importantly what Sabella had defecated, gave Rowan rare insight to where she'd been and what she'd eaten. He was amazed at her indifference to large and dangerous animals, animals that Rowan knew to be aggressive and had to avoid at all cost. She was acutely aware of his presence. Should Rowan fall behind, she would cast a curious glance over her shoulder, almost as if she was observing his behavior. Then Sabella disappears. She often would not be seen for days, hiding in a crevice or even in a cave. But this is different. A month has gone without a sighting. She is nowhere to be found. Rowan and the Samara team search everywhere. They fear the worst. They are concerned that she has either left the area or been killed by one of the male cheetah. 1 month turns into 3. But no sign of Sabella. They finally come to terms with the fact that she is gone.
I couldn't believe she was gone.
One morning, Rowan is out on patrol. He sees a movement in the thicket. It's Sabella. She's alive. But something is wrong. She's not moving, just watching him closely. Rowan moves closer. Sabella has achieved what no other cheetah has done in the area for over 100 years. Motherhood.
Carolot's coming. Yeah, I've located the cat just below Eagle's Rock. Yeah, she's fine and healthy.
Sabella turned out to be a proud and resourceful mother. Although ever careful, she never seemed to forget her human guardians and would proudly display each new litter. Rowan is as proud as Sabella and often just sits and watches them romp around. Few cheetahs in the wild survive longer than 8 years, but Sabella was now 12. Over the years, she had become world-renowned and press from all over the world came to see her. Newspapers, magazines, radio and television shows followed the progress of the miracle cheetah and reported on each new litter of cubs as they were born. Despite all the attention, there's still a hands-off policy. She is a wild cheetah, and it's important for this to be preserved. She seems to enjoy the attention, and often when a group of tourists come looking for her, she'll allow herself to be seen. She's still managing to hunt, but not as efficiently as before. She moves with difficulty. Traces of her old injury still apparent. Sarah and the Samara team debate whether or not to leave food out to supplement her diet. On the one hand, she's a wild cheetah who should be left alone to let nature take its course. On the other, she's become a world-famous cheetah with tourists from all over the world coming to see her. She's an ambassador for cheetah conservation and had captured hearts and minds across the globe. Then they discover something incredible. Chili, one of her cubs, now a young adult fending for herself, was actually leaving some of her kill for Sabella to feed on. At first, the rangers thought it was merely a coincidence, but when it happened more than once, they realized Sabella's cub Chili was looking out for her mother. Female cheetah are solitary animals, and communal family behavior in adults was unheard of. This confirmed that the Sabella dynasty was a truly remarkable one. It's a warm day in early September. Rowan's out looking for Sibella. They have not seen her for a few days. And he wants to check if she's hunted and eaten. He goes to all her favorite places. And finally picks up her tracks towards the south. He knows that's her favorite hunting place, the flat plains scattered with thorn bush. The tracks get fresher, and he knows she's close. Then, walking towards an acacia, he spots her.
Yeah, Carola's coming. I've located the cat. She's dead. She's dead.
She lived and died a wild cheetah. The miracle cheetah is dead. But her legacy lives on. Sibella's last litter of 2 cubs remained at Samara until her death. The male, Pepper, was eventually sent to another reserve. Her descendants are currently on 15 different reserves and national parks across South Africa. Chile, Sibella's last-born female, has taken over the reins and is the new Sultaness of Samara. She patrols the plains like her mother did before her, and ensures the legacy lives on.